No one spoke of Hollow Park anymore. Once a glittering jewel of the coast, the amusement park had closed its gates nearly 30 years ago after a string of strange accidents and unexplained disappearances. Nature quickly reclaimed the land, rust bleeding down the sides of old roller coasters, vines coiling like snakes through broken carousel horses. The town had simply pretended it had never been there. But tonight, the gates were open. Marla had always been drawn to stories of the strange and the forbidden. With a flashlight clutched tight in her hand, she stepped across the crumbling threshold, her boots crunching on shattered glass. Moonlight barely pierced the choking mist that hovered just above the cracked concrete. As she passed the remnants of the ticket booth, something whispered from the shadows. She spun around. Nothing. Only the eerie creak of rusted rides swaying in the breeze. Her goal was simple: find the old Hall of Mirrors. According to the stories, that's where it had happened. The final disappearance, the one that had truly ended Hollow Park. Some said a little boy had vanished inside the mirrors. Others whispered of something older, a hunger that had been awoken. The hall loomed ahead, its entrance a yawning black mouth, its faded sign dangled by a single chain, clanging softly like a death knell. Marla hesitated, then pushed inside. Her flashlight beams skittered across cracked mirrors, some shattered entirely, others warped and dusty. As she moved deeper, her reflection multiplied, twisted and stretched into impossible shapes. One mirror showed her taller, gaunt, her eyes hollow and black. Another showed her smiling, except she wasn't smiling. She backed away, heart hammering. Then she heard it, footsteps slow and deliberate, not her own. "Hello?" she called, but her voice sounded muffled, like she was underwater. The footsteps quickened. Frantically, she turned to leave, but the way she had come was gone. The maze had shifted. The mirrors seemed to pulse, alive, as if breathing. In one mirror ahead, she caught a glimpse of something, not herself. A figure, tall, draped in tattered clothing, its face an abyss of darkness. It raised a hand, beckoning her forward. Overwhelmed by fear and intrigue, Marla felt an inexplicable pull toward the figure. As if under a spell, she took a hesitant step forward, the atmosphere thick with dread and anticipation. As she moved closer, she could see that the figure bore a striking resemblance to the boy who had vanished, his eyes cold and empty, yet pleading. The whispers grew louder, echoing in her mind, a chorus of lost souls entwined with sorrow. With a mix of fear and fascination, she felt a strange warmth radiate from the mirror, urging her to take the final step. Just as she was about to make contact, a sudden chill swept through the hall, freezing her in place. The atmosphere turned electric, charged with a sense of impending doom. In that moment, Marla realized that the boy's fate was not just a tale, it was a warning, a call to those who dared to tread where shadows lingered too long. Panic coursed through her veins as she turned to flee, desperately seeking an exit from the hall that seemed to shift around her. The whispers transformed into chilling laughter, echoing off the walls, taunting her for thinking she could leave. In her desperation, Marla tried to focus, searching for the faint outline of the entrance, but it was as if the hall had come alive, closing in around her, trapping her within its dark embrace. Breathless and cornered, Marla felt the weight of despair crushing down on her. The dark figure loomed behind her reflection, whispering promises of salvation, but its intentions were clearly far more sinister. Realizing the danger, Marla shook her head fiercely, trying to dispel the intoxicating allure of the darkness that beckoned her. But the shadows whispered sweetly, igniting the fear that threatened to consume her whole. In that moment of clarity, she remembered the stories, how fear had kept others away. With a burst of courage, she opened her eyes and turned, determined to break free from the grasp of Hollow Park.